Hello and welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I'm having a look at an Asus X401A today. I think this thing's got a dead hard drive, so we're going to take this apart, get the drive out of it, get that on test properly. So this is one of the more annoying laptops where there's no panel on the bottom, so we've got to take all the screws out, take this top panel off, and that will give us the access we need. So let's spin that round. I'm going to start out by drilling out all those screws. Right, that's that. Let's open that up and we should find this top cover now pops off. Okay. I just need to look for. These have actually got, for once, these have actually got quite long cables on the keyboard. Can we read? No, I can't show you. I've just got to get my hand under that. There's one. There's the other. There we go. So that's those two to there and there. There's our hard drive. Let's disconnect that and get you out of the way. Another two screws. And out you come. Alright, there's our hard drive. Right, and I just need to remove these two side bits. Okay, let's drop our hard drive into the hard drive dock. Alright, I found it after a short time. So, select, let's short generic this because it's probably going to fail. And it's failed. And just for the sake of it, let's just do a long generic on it just because I want to see how far into it can get. The short generic kind of freaks me out a bit when it fails immediately because you're like, did you actually test anything or not, you know? Whereas sometimes with the long generic, if it starts, you know, you actually see the progress bar start moving and then it fails and then you can be like, okay, now I'm happy. Right, it got through a long generic already. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, the long generic should have taken like a couple of hours. This drive is clearly broken. Right, fine. Okay, I think we've seen what we need to here. Let's try and back this thing up. So my method for recovering data when I've got a tricky hard drive that I know is going to be trouble is I connect it up to my Mac. If you don't have a Mac on hand, you can always use a Linux live disk, like a Ubuntu pen drive or something like that. If you're doing a lot of computer repairs, definitely make sure you have a Linux laptop or something like that on hand for this kind of work. And what we do is we wait for the drive to mount, which hopefully it will. Okay, this is not looking very promising. We're not getting a hard drive mount at all here. I'm going to try switching out to the same hard drive dock that I use on the workstation that it did manage to find it on. So I'm going to disconnect that and move it over. In we go. Power. Alright, we've got a red light on the hard drive dock now, so it's actually trying to read that hard drive. Oh, it's mounted. Hey, look at that. Okay, right, so now we've got a mount. What we do, we're going to make a new directory and we're going to call this Asus. Now I'm going to get specifically user data. I'm going to be very targeted with this because this drive is on its last legs and it's probably going to fall over. So what I'm going to do, whoop, that's the one I was looking for. I need to wait for it to scan the drive. I think going for the hard drive scan is a bad idea. It's trying to put too much effort on the drive. Can we CD to there? Alright, LSL. Okay, we're getting there. Right, Toril, that's what we want. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to go sudo just to make sure there's none of that bullcrap involved. I'm going to go copy verbose, don't overwrite recursive, and we're going to copy current directory Toril to Asus. Whoop, like that. Go. Okay, so what we've done there, we've started off a recursive copy that's going to copy Toril and everything in it. The other options I've used the verbose output, so we can see a steady output file by file, so we can see its progress. Now the N flag is not particularly relevant for this first attempt, however, most likely it's going to take multiple attempts to copy this data, and that N flag means that it will not overwrite any existing files. So when this falls over and I do a second attempt on it, it will skip past any file that it has already copied. So after numerous attempts, I will eventually get everything. So now we're just going to leave that to run. Okay, so I just heard an unpleasant sounding clonk come from the hard drive, and I can see on the output here that we're not actually copying any more data now. Every file is returning with an input-output error or a resource busy. And in addition to that, the activity light on my hard drive dock isn't flashing anymore. So it's clearly not doing anything. So at this point, we're going to go Control-C, and we're going to interrupt that. And so what we need to do now, we need to dismount the hard drive, mount it again, and make a second attempt. So I'm going to turn off the dock, and turn it back on, wait for the hard drive to remount, and then we will have another pass. It's not mounting. And it just made weird noises again. Now it's done. Okay, what I do in this situation now is I disconnect the hard drive and I leave the drive to cool down. The drive isn't particularly warm, it's at normal operating temperature, but I'm just going to wait for that to go cold. Then once that's gone cold, I'll do a second attempt at this, and we'll rinse and repeat until we've either got all of the data or I'm satisfied that we're not going to get any more data off of it. So I'm also going to change out to my Linux laptop for this, so now I'm not tying up my main laptop all afternoon waiting for this sodding hard drive. So, see you guys in a moment. Okay, right, while our data is recovering, let's get a new drive fitted to this thing. I need some hard drive screws. Alright, and just before I screw that top cover down, I'm just going to notch up the hinge screws as well. No, they're fine, never mind. Sorted. Okay, now I'm going to give this thing a clean up and then we'll start installing Windows on it. Kind of a dull finish on the top of this that I can't shift. I think it's just where it's been worn down. Not quite sure why our Asus logo is offset there, but whatever. So we're booting off a USB 10 flash drive now, so we can go ahead and get Windows installed. Okay. And we're going to go United Kingdom, install now. Right, I don't have a product key right now. I'm going to activate it using the Windows 7 product key on the bottom of the laptop, but I'll do that once we're into Windows, just because that's what I find easier. We got Windows 10 Home. We accept. Custom install because upgrade never works. We don't need to make any partitions, it'll do it for us. Okay, so that's cracking on with copying the files over to the new hard drive, and then it'll go ahead and install Windows, so we'll leave that to run. Okay, right. With that, it's taken about 20 minutes to do that base install, so let's get started. Yes, I want to connect to my wireless. Whoop. Okay, now when I'm setting up Windows 10, I do customize and I go customize and I turn all of this stuff off, because we don't really need any of it. I have location services turned on because that's kind of useful for weather apps and stuff like that. We don't want any of that. And I do leave Smart Screen turned on because that improves security in Internet Explorer and Edge, which I don't use anyway, but some programs use it as the integrated Windows browser. Okay, now I'm going to skip this account. I don't use Microsoft accounts on Windows. And we're going to do a local user account called user. No, go away Cortana, no one likes you. And right, now we're going to the final phase of the Windows setup, which is the really annoying one that doesn't give you a progress bar, so you've no idea how long it's going to take. Okay, right, now we've got a Windows desktop. We need to check that we have connections. Now, I've already got wireless on this one, so I know I've got an internet connection. Windows 10 will be able to install any missing drivers, such as the graphics drivers, which you can see we're missing, via Windows Update. So the only time when you're not going to have a network driver for Windows 10 is probably because you've got something exotic like a killer Ethernet network card that would be on a gaming motherboard or something like that. Past that, now you just want to go through to settings, and you want to bash through Windows Update until everything is set up and installed. So we'll do that, and I'll be back as soon as this thing is up to date. Right, several hours later, because my god those updates took a while, we've finally got this thing up to date. So as you can see, we've actually got some display resolution now. So I'm going to do some other bits of customization to this just to get it set up and working the way we want. However, the last bit that we need to do for this video is to restore the data. So I'm going to eject my Windows flash drive. And then I'm going to plug in the external hard drive that I was recovering the data onto. And then we can just start restoring that back onto the laptop. And theoretically, once that's all been restored over, we're pretty much done. As said, you'll want to customize things how you wanted, and you'll want to install any programs you had. But other than that, we've now completely rebuilt this laptop after a hard drive failure. So Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.